Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with our first finalist, the rank 1 Terran in the world in the blue, the Frenchman from Team Liquid. We have Clem, facing off against his greatest nemesis, the rank 1 Protoss in the red. Of course, it's Hero. In a best of 5 Terran versus Protoss Grand Finals to the newest edition of the Monday Night Weekly Tournament. And before we get started, it'd be incredible. You could smash that like button, maybe even subscribe. And we got the algorithm. And Jimmy, what do we have? 1,885 likes on this video, on this cast. And I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As Clem trying to make sure that Hero doesn't sneak anything into the corners of the map, as he knows doors and corners, that's where they get you. And Hero has never been a huge fan or capable architect of doors. So scouring the edges of the map with the first Reaper, but Hero has... I never know what sort of Luigi board he's divinating on, but Hero's Forrest Gumpian school of Protoss who don't build good. Sometimes he scouts with the probe at the beginning of the game, harasses the workers like it's his job, but instead of being employed at Blizzard, he's just getting into their head, getting into their base, and making it incredibly difficult to predict what he's going to do next. Because not even Hero, I'm convinced, can predict what he's going to do next. So, well, it's just like a standard one-gate expand. Which, okay. Clem clearly expecting something more aggressive. He went for 2 gas, he went for the Barracks Factory Starport. A gateway will be slapped down. He has a sentry and a shield battery. And Hero did not scout until this point. So this was just the safest one-gate expand, sorry. Making sure he had a blind shield battery. This is like a Terran build. So, Clem, probably wondering what the kicker is, but he already saw the Twilight Council. He saw all the units. There's nothing hidden. All right, sometimes that's the greatest cheese of all. Clem, he's got Widow Mines on the way. It looks like a Widow Mine drop is next on the agenda. The duel in the pond here. Looks like 2 of them will be permanent residents as the Adept and Reaper trade out. Hero scrambles back. Hero been really working the change to the gateways / warp gate. Once you research warp gate, gateways themselves, the raw version, build units 50% faster. That means twice as fast. You can debate math and pedantics, but the summary is a Stalker goes from 28 to 14 seconds. Zealot as well. Literally faster than a Marine or a Zergling. You can pump out so many units with less gateways. Of course, you have to walk them across like a pleb or a Terran, but I repeated myself a little much there. Meanwhile, Reaper Hellion coming in. Widow Mines drop out. The probes looked like they were in a dicey situation, but he actually sacrifices 3 and easily deals with the mines, though Clem is able to extract 2 of them. Minimal damage overall. And the fact is that Hero has a 3rd Nexus on the way. Hero's playing full macro, while Clem is clearly... he's setting up to defend. He had a very cautious early game. Hero's reputation very much precedes him. Well, Hero's played against Clem so many times. Hero got Clem to play Protoss, not just against Terran, but just Protoss in general for 2 weeks straight, not too many months ago, after a particularly bad finals just like this. So, I feel like in the first week or 2 of the new patch, even though command centers only cost 300 minerals now, I feel like Hero has finally adapted. And in the last few matches I've seen, he's clearly embracing that wildcard Protoss, where, well, Mom always said Hero games are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Whereas Clem, Widow Mine drops are a staple, and he nails down a sentry and a couple probes. But he does lose the medevac and all the mines, which means nothing left to anchor Hero back at home, and he can go on the attack. It's going to be extra relevant as the medevacs are boosting out. The Stalkers do indeed have blink, but not enough of them to deal with the bio here. Reinforcements are on the way, but without Warp Gate, without using the Warp Gate, they have to kind of trickle their way out of gateways in a technologically barbaric style, aka the Terran style. Widowmine ends up getting a hit. Meanwhile, the double medevac drop is sent out. Hero went forward, though. Clem underestimating his penchant for aggression, which is remarkable that people still do that at this stage, but Hero's just going forward. The stim, there's no medevacs here to heal up, making this quite a war of attrition, but the double medevac drop into the main. He's pulling back. It looks like a recall. It is a recall in order to save the day. Clem picks up a little bit slow on the pull away. That means the blink is just so close. If Hero had walled off in a normal fashion instead of whatever this is, that medevac would be dead right now. But then again, he wouldn't be Hero, so maybe the medevac would be alive anyways. But I think I'm just going to work on this dimension of commentary instead of going outside of it. The Stalkers blinking back. Marines and Marauders. Sentry out in front. Popped immediately. It was optimistic. Another round of units trickling out of the gateways. And Hero, he does have that third base run. He's going to have the +1 ground weapons quicker than a Terran, which is quite a rarity. But with this mass gateway style, it's certainly helpful. Meanwhile, Clem going to be caught on the bridges in the middle of the map. Stalkers and a charge lot or two on either side. Multiple Widowmines, though, blinks out. Hero, you can still very much lose a fight against a bioarmy. He picks off one medevac, trying to pick apart the Widowmines. Clem can't go forward, but he also doesn't want to go back. Another medevac taken out, but a Widowmine drop in the main. Hero reacts just in time. 4 probes dead, picks up, gets out. Meanwhile, dueling with the Marauders. A close fight, but the medevac certainly turned the tide. Widowmine drop will back off for now. Hero's up to 124 supplies, pumping out so... He has 30 gateway units right now. Uh-oh. Those numbers don't lie. And they spell disaster for Clem if he doesn't put something together. Meanwhile, Stalkers blink forward. Clem doesn't even have +1. That means the trade for these gateway units is actually surprisingly good. More Stalkers and Zealots piling in the parade push across the map. Very Terran-esque, but he's tearing through Clem right now. The boys are pulled, but it seems like it might be too little. And almost certainly too late. Blocks on top of the Marauders. There's almost nothing left to his name. Hero's just in his base, chopping through his economy. A Widowmine drop comes out, gets a few more probes. That's a few dozen too little. And even though some of the Zealots were distracted by the beautiful, beautiful barracks and chopping through them, it's not enough. Hero, with a relatively straightforward macro timing. And he just walks up and kills him. I wouldn't say that match is as one-sided as a Mobius strip, but it wasn't too far off, as Clem just... At no point did it seem like Clem was capable of doing damage to Hero, whereas Hero had no such issues. Let's put it that way. Well, game 1 goes to Hero. 300 Mineral Command Center, not enough to let Clem keep up with Hero's level of aggression. They're going to Rorschach for game number 2. We've already seen some dramatic games between these two. Mostly, we do it live here. But apparently, the struggle for... Well, from replay. But please, get out. The player's testing. Which is what happens if one of the observers is lagging during the live game. But we don't pause for anyone here. Except for these advertisements. Have you yet subscribed? Have you tried hitting the join button? Have you smashed the like button? No? Well, we have to ask ourselves that question. At what cost? And the answer, absolutely free. Make the biggest difference you could possibly make in your life in the next 5 seconds. Like and subscribe. Or not. But do what you feel is right. And if what you feel is right is not liking and subscribing, just know that you're wrong. Thank you. And good night. Hero. 2 gas on 1 base, which is already a bit spicy. Clem. Neither player scouting early. He wouldn't do it again. Okay, so in that fateful game, I think I could spoil it now. but in, I want to say the RSL Finals, after losing 4-0 to Clem, Hero whipped a proxy Stargate build right out of his backpack and slapped it down on this map right outside Clem's base. He did a proxy Nexus in order to make sure his shield batteries were stronger. Now, here's the thing. We buffed shield batteries for specifically this scenario. Shield batteries without a proxy Nexus, I know, weird thing to say, but started at 50 energy before, whereas near a Nexus, they would start at 100. Now, all shield batteries, regardless of Nexus, have 75 energy to start, making Proxy Void Ray a significantly better strategy. Though, does that mean it's a good one? Well, the Reaper's in the main. Adept is on the way. This is Clem's first scout. Same can be said, though. Hero is doing this completely blind. And, well, he's going to lose at least a couple probes. Adept comes out. Meanwhile, Stargate's on the way. And it's a Void... Hero has been on a Void Ray kick lately. It's his unit of the week, I think. And it's not nearly as weak as you might expect. The shield batteries! Oh my. So, I think a lot of this depends on what Clem builds here. A Widow Mine would be death. Essentially, not going Cyclone is death. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. This is so fast. Wait, did he just win the game? What? And there's a shield battery right there. Clem's... Oh, my God. What? I think so. I mean, more Marines are going to come out. They're targeting the Zealot. I guess the shield... There's an Oracle on the way. And once there's... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Well, I don't think Clem's going to be happy about this one. Now place your prediction on how many G's at the end. It's already... He's dead. Like, there's already an Oracle. Repair's not going to do it. GG! Hero 2, Clem 0. Oh. Well, and that wasn't even that greedy out of Clem. It's just this hits so hard and so fast. I'm not even just choosing. I'm not trying to choose my words carefully. I have none. A little speechless after that one. Well. What? It seems like... Well, Clem did not SCV scout. Hero gambled it all. If it was a 1 base out of Clem and he had a Cyclone, it would have been like if he had a factory in a more timely fashion and he has a Cyclone out with the first Void Ray. Where are you going, Hero? Hero scouting at the beginning of the game on the 4-player map? Wild. Wait, is this what scouting looks like? This doesn't feel like scouting. This feels like putting a pylon in the middle of the map. So, you can only spawn at close horizontal, or I guess this would be a good proxy either way. But I think Hero knows that you can't spawn in close vertical positions. But again, just put a gate. This is an absolute certified StarCraft classic. Not StarCraft 2, just StarCraft in general. Proxying in the middle of the map on 4-player maps. Statistically plausible. But it's a gamble. This is so far away already. It's relying on them not scouting. Like, if Clem's... This is another example. This is Clem being educated here. Old man Hero, who's a solid 10 years older than Clem, re-educating Clem on the fact that scouting is kind of an important component in the game. Well, or just going for tech early. You can't expand and not scout and expect to hold most all-ins. But if Clem does go for one base, like he's got 2 gas here, Hero's Probe is going to see it, then obviously you have a lot more tools with which to deal with this. He's just building up. So Hero sees the 2 gas, which means Clem has, and not surprising he went for it, but Clem has a lot more chance at getting the factory to time. Well, he's got the factory on the way. The Zealots. Clem's chasing the pro. Oh yeah, sure. We've had first proxy, but have we had second proxy? The probe is gonna... Wait, he saw the pylon. And where there's a pylon, at some point there was a probe. But now the Zealots are gonna walk into the base because of course they are. Yeah, come on in, the water's fine. All right. The SCVs. A Reaper's about to come out, which will help out a lot. The SCVs, great micro so far out of Clem. Loses 1, 2. And honestly, this... Yep. It's going great. Like, if he gets the Adept, especially without killing a Reaper, which... Oh my. I think... Huh. Okay, well... okay! And... There's that early game strategic variety we were talking about. Clem goes for the double gas. Great micro on defense, and it's 2-1. The Clempire strikes back. Well, Jimmy, can we even run ads on this? Yeah, okay. I don't know. Well, of all the games I've ever seen, that was certainly one of them. Another attempt, but Clem finally puts the stopper on it. Works out for him. Finding the probe and just great micro against... It was just a Zealots and an Adept. I think Hero wanted to follow it up with the proxy Stargate. He was building a Stargate back at home. But, the probe, beginning of the game. Clem's SCV, not too far off. So here we are. This is our meta. The workers pulled off the line. Where are... What the fuck? Pardon my French. I was trying to speak to Clem. Sure. Yep. Proxy Rex, Proxy Gate. Omelette du fromage. Full cheese. And buckle up, buckle in, buckle down. I have no idea. There is absolute... This is... I have no analysis. Besides, apparently this is how we're playing now. Will Clem go for the Proxy Marauder or just a Reaper? Hero, I imagine there's at least going to be a Zealot or 2. A tech lab is on the way. There's going to be a Cybercore back at home. Hero will have access to recall, assuming he doesn't chrono boost too religiously, but it wouldn't be too surprising with Zealots. Concussive Shell Marauder, and neither player has... Wait, did Hero go up the ramp? No. Clem also didn't go up the ramp. Neither player has any idea what the other is or is not doing. There's absolutely no preparation possible here. It's just entirely build order, and execution. And possibly in that order for either player. Shield battery blindly in the main for Hero. Anticipate, well, at least a Reaper is what that's supposed to buy a Tom for. Clem. Oh, Did the SCV spot them? I don't think so. Oh, wow. Let's go to the Clem cam. He sees it. You can't recall Marauders. Oh, my. This time around, there's no Reapers to save you, and there's a Stalker on the way. The problem is, back at home, Hero has a shield battery, and he can recall. Well, he can't recall because he has no energy at the moment. But Clem is down 6 SCVs. The Stalker's going to pick up a couple more. There's a second shield battery at the back. Great probe. Oh, he gets him! Citizen's arrest! GG! It's over! That's it! Hero 3, Clem 1. Game over, man. Another 3-minute game. Oh, my. The battle probes are pulled off the line and bring us directly to our anti-spoiler series of Hero versus Beyond. Beyond, Clem's metaphorical father, as both in play style and almost age, but well, let's see if this is any different. Hero woke up and chose violence. Well, does he choose anything, or does it choose him? Or has he chosen us? Like and subscribe if you're the chosen one. Also, that probe was sent out at the beginning of the game, but it's not going to scout. So it appears there's some consistent. Maybe today's proxy day. I wouldn't be surprised if Hero has themes. Like, he could be a clickbait YouTuber, but he just chooses to win tournaments instead. But yeah, all right, proxy gate it is. We'll see if it looks as be unstoppable here. This is a best of 3. At least I'm... Jimmy? Pretty sure. Might be a spoiler. Beyond, I think, in separate ways, better and worse against Hero style. He's played Hero for much longer. He's willing to get down in the dirt and cheese on the same level. Clem is almost too good for his own good. I think part of Clem's issue against Hero is that Clem is one of the best Protoss players in the world. Clem applies a lot of, what would I do as a Protoss in this situation? He's straight up... He actually has one of, if not the highest win rate against Terran as Protoss, even though he has not played against Terran as Protoss very much in the new patch, which is interesting. But unfortunately, we don't have the technology for Clem to play against himself. So we don't really get a real test, as Hero and Max Packs and Classic all have to play against Clem. Unlike Clem. So, but the fact that Clem is competitive at that level, you know, I mean, whatever works. Crouching Zealot. Hidden gateway. Stay in the trees. Beyond's looking, but he's not finding. The Zealot sneaks by, taking quite a path. Hero just knows. Sneaking his way around, minimizing the chances it gets spotted. There's a concussive shell Marauder on the way, but not a proxied one, a defensive one. That's actually one of the best possible responses, assuming he doesn't just lose his Zealot. I mean, it loses Marauder. But this command center is almost certainly going to be canceled. The Marine gets eviscerated on the way back home. What are you doing? Just shutting the door in his face. There is a Stalker. He's trying to trade shots. And I'm pretty sure the Marauder wins if they're able to fire the same amount. He just gives up on the expansion. It ain't happening. It's pretty clear what's happening here. Oh, no! Oh, the Zealot. Well, is it actually... Oh, yes? Well, the Marauder gets caught on the wrong side. The Zealots are closing in. The Stalker will finish it off. And he sniped off the Stalker, but it cost him the Marauder. And now everybody's expanding. Hero has a Nexus, Beyond has a Beyunker, and a command center on the way. So Beyond's opener, well, just generally better against exactly this. Concussive Shell Marauder is great to have. But Clem's issue was he just didn't have it at home. It's not somewhat amusingly and a little ironically, Concussive Shell Marauder is worst against probes, but best against stronger units where you can pick them off one by one, like Stalkers especially. What? Why? He didn't fit in the bunker, so he had to die. That's why! He's like, I need one more SCV. It was more important to have that SCV. That Marine died because the supply depot was 7 seconds late. Wow, Beyond. That's cold. I mean, I'm the expert. All right. Okay. Oh, is he gonna fuck it up again? The last time we watched Hero versus Beyond, almost this exact scenario. A different rogue getting here. Not too different, actually. But Hero was up against a bunker on the high ground. He had sentries to break said bunker. But then he missed his force fields, putting him significantly further behind than he should have been. As in, he let the SCVs repair because he did not hit the force fields nearly as well as he should have. Now, I don't know how relevant that is in this scenario. There's the Guardian Shield. He's just going to get through. The Cyclone comes out. That's a big deal. Locks onto one of the sentries. Not bothering with force field, which is... I guess you miss 100% of the you can't miss 100% of the shots that you do. Oh, anyways, there's the force field. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked out with me. That was supposed to be a house cyclone. Went outside, never coming back. And Beyond. He thought he could deal with it. There's not enough energy for force field. Oh, there is now. We could get caught again. Losing the cyclone is devastating. Throw the fire. And Fury. I don't know if there's any way to recover, at least easily. For oh, here's also taking the gold, because why not? Sure. Throw it in there. He's got Beyond contained. There's no starport. He can't get down this ramp. I mean, citation needed. There's the siege tank, but it's on the ramp outside the wall. Incredibly notably. I don't think Hero will... Also, this command center is taking a lot of damage. The boys are pulled. He's gonna repair. The hallucinated Phoenix sees everything. Hero's just standing there menacingly. Stim is about to complete. Zealots are still trickling out. Probes transferred to the gold base. He's gonna move a couple units to poke the SCVs. And, oh, he unsieged at the worst time. Hero didn't even see it. He just felt it. A disturbance. But actually, that went horribly. That was not good. Hero loses a big chunk of his units. There's no blank. There's no charge, though charge is on the way. He's getting +1 armor. Did he mistime his probe transfer? So some of the probes are long-distance mining, because of course they are. Warp gates are opened up. He paid the warp tax. What are you doing here? Is he capable of answering that question? Maybe if he had a mouth, but Protoss not known for it. What do they call him? The Smiling Assassin? It's a metaphor. Double engineering bay from Beyond, who has made a vow not to build a starport before 7.5 minutes. He's had 3 CCs this entire time, by the way. So Hero did know that. Of course, Hero is mining from the gold, which Beyond almost certainly doesn't expect. So Hero will have comparable income with those 40% faster gold and minerals. Beyond just trying to be hunkered down, but here we go. Oh no! He unsieged! How does he know? There's no vision at that. Maybe he saw him unsieging. He just felt it. I'm convinced. He just feels it. And he attacked 10 seconds before +1 armor. It's just the stars aligned. Jupiter was in retrograde. Like Hero? I don't understand how he didn't care if there were siege tanks. He was going. He's gonna lose some of the zealots. Whatever. Alright, sets up and goes. And just wins. the killer instinct. Literally, like... The proxy gate... Beyond never passed his natural. He sent one Marine slightly outside of his base to scout, found nothing, and then was stuck in his base until his death, which didn't take too long to come to fruition. But Hero has adjusted to the new patch, I think. That's my assessment. And apparently the answer has been just proxy gates in random locations and hope for the best. Stargate, Gate, Warp Gate, all gates. Maybe not Bill, but fear and faith. A great place for zealots. He just keeps winning. I don't know. I feel like half the time these builds would not work on the ladder. These are like ladder cheese builds. He's playing players that are too good for their own good. Clem and Bian are both too good at this game. So they fall for these... like, very simplistic yet incredibly effective. Ye old proxy gate. It's... it doesn't even... Beyond made a mistake with the Cyclone. But... Well, one, you have to scout. You have to at least see if they're expanding. I think there's no choice in the matter. And honestly, not much of an excuse, in my humble and modest opinion. A lot of smart people in the comments say that, alright? You know they're smart because they're in the comments after they like and subscribe, but... Humble and modest. Me. You have to scout. Or you have to send the SCV. I think that's what Hero is trying to prove. One, he's sometimes scouting at the beginning of the game. But two, he's not going to stop. Alright? He will rule this game or see it burnt to ashes around him. Oh, probe working its way up the little worker path there. I love them. It goes right out the tube. This is a great map for the working class. Alright, multiple employee entrances, fun fact. I mean, it's not like blocked by the tube. The bullets go right through. But the Marine cannot. So, takes the tube home. I'm sure many of you can empathize. Though it's going to be a not very direct route, which, same thing. Beyond learning the same lesson that Clem did. Two options, scout or actually go for tech. And he chooses the second. Just like Clem. He's gonna go for the 1-1-1, the barracks, the factory, the starport. Destiny Cloud Fist build, I heard it called in Fever Dream from many, many moons ago. But he's finally tube scouting. Twilight Council on the way. Hero with the one... It's just a one-gate expand. He just scouted pretty early. He came back around with the probe, by the way. He came out the other side of the tube, sent it back to the natural. SCV. Also scouting for proxies, I guess. What? He's not going to keep going? You're going to go home? Beyond! I guess, well, there is a pylon block. Oh, he might have actually clicked on where Hero's base is. And the SCV knows, because of the pylon block, that it can't go there. So the pathing will take it around. And that was enough for Beyond to know that Hero is there. He could technically click it to, like, right at the edge and get a scout of whatever's past the pylon, but we'll let him slide on this one. Through the tube. Hallucinated Phoenix will inconveniently scout the medevac exactly when it comes out. Is there a Cyclone in there? No! That's a siege tech! Because of course it is. Now, either way, it's inspiration for Hero to build not 1, but 2 extra shield batteries. Make that 4 shield batteries. And an extra pod on to back it up, always important. The Tacti boys are on the way. This is a 1 base all-in for Beyond. As he's been inspired by Hero's antics, the siege tank spots the shield batteries on the way. He's going to work on it. Blink is still pretty far off. That siege tank just in range. Another one trundling across the old-fashioned way. The SCVs are going to make it a lot more difficult. The shield batteries are draining quickly. Down goes one. Second siege tank. Shield batteries to back it up. These 2 batteries are going to be taken down rather quick. He was trying to trade the energy on the battery, but no. Moving forward, a Liberator is going to complicate things. It's going to siege up before Blink is done. And Beyond. Pushing forward, the probes are pulled. He's going to do what he can. He gets on top of the Liberator. Takes out 1 tank. Make that 2. And, well, takes out the meta. And wait, what? GG! Hero just wins again. He can't keep getting away with it. See, this is why I asked this question. Apparently, it's a best of 5, which kind of tells you something. But Hero. I'm sorry, Hero. I'm not mad at Hero. I'm mad at Jimmy on this one. But well, all right. Beyond. It looked like it had potential right up until Hero rug pulled him. And slipped in the probes once again, a pivotal role. And well, the only game he's lost between Beyond and Clem so far is the longest range. In fact, I think a proxy gate in that location on this map that Hero did against Clem is probably about as far from the base as his main base. If they're in close positions. If they're in cross positions, obviously it's closer. Hero... Hero just gives him a smiley face. They were probably typing in chat, in the lobby chat, but Beyond's like, I can't, like, how am I supposed to win? Ever. And Hero just laughs at him. I like to think that they haven't said anything in lobby chat. These two have played each other over 1,000 times in professional matches and probably twice that much on the ladder, but Hero, I like to think Hero just gives him a smiley face after nothing. After no chat, no nothing. Hero just, well, he's the smiling assassin, right? The well-timed smiles. New lore. His smiley face emojis, which in simpler and more strict times would have gotten banned for tournaments, from tournaments, because the Koreans were really strict about that. Not nearly as much anymore. You're allowed to have a personality now. But his well-timed smiley face emojis tilting his opponents so much, almost as much as his builds and playstyle in general. But here we are. Old Sun Temple. And this time around, Hero goes 1 gate expand with no scout. Oh, Hero. This has not been a... Well, I don't know. Again, it does seem like this is nothing to do with a new patch. Every game, every series is decided by Hero. Win, lose, win, lift a trophy, and then realize the tournament isn't over yet. Which is the most Hero thing I have ever seen in my StarCraft 2 career. If you know, you know. And you should know. I hope you watched that series. Anyways, watch the Cyril versus Hero finals. That wasn't a spoiler. A Hero lifts the trophy. That's all I said. Reaper gets in. But every game in most series are defined by Hero giving or taking away. Sometimes from Hero himself. Oftentimes. Possibly the majority of the time. And it's that sort of special mindset needed for Protoss. Well, speaking of returning players, though, I am excited to announce there is a Protoss returning to StarCraft 2. Professionally. And it isn't a Protoss like Hero. One of the few Protoss who found success as a straight-up standard macro toss throughout multiple years. We have Neeb! We'll get more next time we see him, but has officially returned. Apparently inspired by the tournament he played, the Legends tournament, where he put up a great fight against Scarlet, who's still an active pro, which felt a little unfair, to be honest. Anyways, enough about Neeb. Hero needs to micro his sentries a little bit better than that. Oh, the probes are just gonna all die. Well, okay. And by all, I mean, he's just gonna kill the Stalker, right? No? He's only killed 3... Okay, it's getting bad. 4 probes. It's adding up. 6 probes. Gets into the main. Seven. What? Okay, 8 probes. Absolutely terrible, terrible damage. Completely interrupting my excitement over the return of Neeb. And honestly, he looked really good against Scarlet. And in the rest of the tournament, I just didn't show the games because he stomped everyone else besides Scarlet. And it was mostly PvP. So, and that was when we hadn't yet hotfixed Zerg out of existence again. Those games, so. Okay, that's a little unfair. We haven't seen Cyril yet, if that counts. And it's not that bad. It's just significantly less oppressive. Anyways, Neeb. The best player in the history of North America. Or the United States of America. Right now, fun fact, not so fun fact, the #1 player from the US is not me, but I'm kind of not too far. Like, we don't mind drop. Oh my. Negotiated chat beyond. I keep getting interrupted from my thought process here because the drama. But it's, I believe it was Reaper, the Zerg player who's rank 80 in the world. Yes. 80th in the world. Was the #1 US player. Estrella, I think, kind of quietly retired. Hasn't played since the end of last year. And finally, the drop has ended. Was wondering when that would show up. But will be very interesting. Anyways, more about Hero, though. I still can't get over how Hero is on T1. Like, Team T1 disbanded its StarCraft 2 team at the end of Pro League in, like, 2018. Did not have a StarCraft 2 team or StarCraft 2 contingent until 2024, when, and not even before the World Cup or anything, just in the middle of the year, they announced their only StarCraft 2 player to this day, Hero. Which, I mean, great investment, but also, they didn't have a team. He wasn't on the team back in the day either. This is his first time playing for T1, and he's the only one. And of Korean players, I think, well, he's one highest ranked. And I don't understand how that conversation even happened. But of any players, I'm the least surprised. Just like of any players, I'm the least surprised when random warp prisms are effectively dead. Oh, Raven gets Edgar out imponed. And Hero's going Storm. Wait, are we having a macro game? That's crazy. He's building High Templar out of gateways. Wow. So, take your guess. Is it Florencio or is it here? Which is... Check that off your bingo cards. Energy recharges. Beyond has actually sat back and built up. The best chance so far for him to do some actual damage to Hero. Of course, Storm. He's gonna glide those Templar into a prism that is in a precarious state. But, well, That's just his whole playstyle. Storm is done in 2 seconds. I think he went back because he wasn't sure if it was done yet. Meanwhile, Medevac in the main reveals the High Templar. Storm Drop gets 5 SCVs. A few more may die. He's in the safe range of the siege tank. And Hero just doesn't really have any units, but he does have Storm. So I guess that counts for something. Gonna lose some more probes. Lose some more zealots. 13 probes dead. Quite a haul for Beyond so far. And the Marines and Marauders. Oh, wait! There's a... Does he have enough for Storm? Yes. Does he use it? Let's not be hasty. The Medevac? Is Blink done? Yes. He picks up, well, optimistically, almost knocks it out. And Hero continuing forward. And this has gone from a tactical withdraw to a total rout. Does he open up the warp gates? No. He's just going to go forward. The bunker is out in front. There's no way to repair it. The storms are good. And, well, the barracks are in a... The warp prism has 4 HP, which is 3 more than it needs. The Marine was trying to move forward to snipe it off. Absolutely not. Wait, did he win again? Oh, my. Beyond gives him a multilingual GG. And Hero takes it 3-0. Which brings us to our anti-spoiler game. But wait, there's more. Against the strongest up-and-coming Zerg machine. Not the one from EG, who's probably over 3 times his age almost. But instead, the 17-year-old Zerg player. Faced off against Hero as well in the playoffs. We'll see if he has more luck. It is Zerg versus Protoss, which is a whole nother ball game. Hero has shown some creative strategies here as well. Obviously, of course. I think the first week or 2 of the patch, he was still practicing for Maestros of the Game, where he lifted that trophy, which was on the old patch, the 12 workers. I think at this point we have to just... There's been several hotfixes. The 300 Mineral Command Center hotfix has been in for a couple weeks now, but I'm just going to refer to it as the 2 eras of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. We have the 12 workers and we have the 8 workers. And this is certainly an experiment. And I do think the 8 workers are kind of a red herring, where it doesn't really change too much in the early game. Maybe adds a little bit more time on. Occasionally we get a more committed cheese, because it's a lot harder to defend a dedicated cheese when you have significantly less workers early, for better or worse. But the only change that has really affected how the game plays out at a later stage is the reduction in gas on each geyser from 2250 to 2000, which definitely you can feel it in the late game. And a total of over 10% less gas on the map on each base individually. Brings it a little more in line with the mineral patches when they mine out. You still mine out of gas like 3 or 4 minutes after the minerals if you're fully saturated, but whether that's a nerf or a buff to any particular race kind of remains to be seen. I do think it's possibly the most interesting change. All the rest, it's so hard to tell. You threw so much in there. 8 workers, warp gate rework, larva change, hatchery cost increase, ghost. We'll be generous and say change. Widowmine buff, Colossus buff, Adept buff. Gateways. It's very hard to pick out which specific thing is doing what. Now, the move fast and break things sort of style of patching and changes, I think can work. The only issue still remains, like, are we going to continue moving fast if something breaks? TBD. He just made a zealot, which is not something you usually do. And it wasn't even a... Hey, he just made a zealot. Sure. Why not? Well, usually you don't make it because it costs 100 minerals, but... Scouting zealot. Gonna trudge its way back home. Alright. Oracle's on the way. We'll see if Hero breaks out the more Stargate-oriented style, or if he focuses on the ground-based toss. It's always Stargate to start. 97% of the time. Occasionally you'll get a cheese. Not even Hero can break with the... Very simply, the Oracle is too good. You can't. It does so much, and it's so important, that any build that doesn't involve the ability to have at least one Oracle is just worse in many ways. The scouting, the damage potential, it forces Spore Crawlers. It keeps control of the creep. Constant scouting. Very hard to hide any actual sneaky all-ins as Zerg. They have Oracles. And also, even if you do hide them, the Oracles can defend them. Because there's no anti-air besides Queens until air tech. And even after that, it's, well, dicey. So... a second Oracle coming out. Looks like no Moracles for now. So he also doesn't have a Twilight nor a Forge. Here, just 250 gas. Which he's saving up for a rainy day. Gonna give it a big scout around. Building some Adepts now. Full scout. Sees the lair. Arrow. 350 gas now. Which is, you know, quite a nest egg. 400 gas. Getting out of hand. Uh-huh. What's it gonna be? It's like, this is a new challenge. Mine all the gas and don't spend it. Okay, 500 gas is... He's got a Forge. And 550 gas. He's not saving up for Mutas. Hero! Does he know he doesn't have a Twilight? Sentries? No, it's just a bunch of Adepts without glaives. Sure, why not? Throw it in there. Robo Twilight. Okay. Alright, well. And a fleet beacon. Sure, there goes the gas. All covered. The entire rest of the tech tree at once, literally. Fleet beacon, Twilight, and Robo in production while he does a bunch of Adept pressure. Because why not? Just throw it in there. Why go for any build when you could go for every build? And the Adepts get 9 kills. There's a Spire on the way. It's at the back of the main. The Adepts are doing a uncomfortable amount of damage, considering they're supposed to be a speed bump at best. Did he see the Spire? No. But there is going to be a fleet beacon. And a mothership on the way, sure. So it's a mothership rush alongside everything else. Charge, +1. The Spire's going to be finished, but Machine has to rebuild the drone count to something a bit more respectable. It's very hard to go mutas with less than 60 workers, especially when you know they're on 3 base comfortably. Sure, Templar Archives as well. Mutas on the way. Five mutas. But it does very much look like 5 mutas, and then those are all my mutas. Do whatever you can. Guys, would you let me out? So, what's the password? We can't even say words. See, trick question. If you said anything, I'd know you weren't Protoss. Well, that doesn't solve the problem. I'm not paid to solve... You're getting paid? Yeah, they charge a lot. Just like me. Anyways, Phoenixes. As he spotted, the mothership is a pretty good defense. I don't know how many mutas it takes to kill a mothership, but it's definitely more than 5. All right, 2 stalkers warped in. Hero with quite an army moving across the map. There's a pretty solid amount of roaches here. Does he have an overseer? He does. He has 1. That's going to be very important. It's on the wrong side of the map, I think, though. And the mothership of all things. Gonna be quite a surprise. Yeah, there's no overseer. He builds another one, but there's gonna be time without detection here. As long as Hero actually presses the button. He does. Overseer's about to finish. Oracle just kind of dies on the high ground. He's going for the win. This is just disrespectful. Just goes right up the ramp. Time Warp gonna help out dramatically. Warps in mid-fight. Are you kidding me? You can't do that. He gets the Zealots, trades the Prism for it, but he may just win the game. The Mutas are actually getting some damage. Okay, not really. Hero with the Smorgas build. And losing the Prism means he doesn't have enough reinforcements, I think, to actually win the game. But he's killed 16 drones. He's taking a 4th base. The mutas are dead. The mothership could actually kill a surprising amount. He's doing mothership creep tumor clearing, which is certainly something. 3 Archons on the way. As Machine desperately scrambling to come up with an answer to anything Hero is doing. Roaches and mutas technically can cover it, but none of it very well. Hero just took a 4th base. Almost disrespectfully there. He's building out of gates. Phoenix is also over here, picking up drones, slowly killing them. The mothership. He could mass recall, or he could just kill this with the mothership, I guess. He's walking over. Finds the base. And mutas do not counter a mothership. They do not. Very simply. He needs... Yeah, he's building corruptors. I don't want to know. We might have one of those unit tester shorts where... See how many mutas it takes to kill a mothership, but... Don't. If you want to... If you're trying to figure out, don't. If it's not dead in 3 seconds, it's not worth it. Well... Hero feels like he's testing literally everything at once. He's got... Phoenix range, blink, +2 ground attack. We're getting a 4th base. We're getting +2 ground weapons. We're building zealots out of gateways. You know what we need now? DT blink and or disruptors, just to make it really round out this competition. Or composition. Both, I guess. A Robo Bay would be true trolling, to be honest. Like, he's going Sky Zerg. Kind of. So... More Phoenixes. And technically Machine's about even on supply. He's going Roach Ravager Zergling. He's got Corruptors. But you can't help but feel like Hero is very much in the driver's seat. And if he crashes this car off the bridge and plunges into the water, well, he's Protoss. I don't think he'll drown. But he might try it for fun. I don't know. Well, some more zealots taken out. Infestation pit on the way. Hero gonna have Immortal Archon charge lot. With the mothership overhead, the old CIA build is a classic tactic. And incredibly difficult to beat if everybody's at 200 supply. Especially since Machine didn't have an opportunity. He has mutas, and he doesn't have infestors. He doesn't have even hydras or lurkers. He's reliant on Ravagerling Bane, which means he's got to play this 300 supply style. But he has money in the bank. It's probably the best case scenario. He's going to kill some of the probes with Banelings. The mothership's coming in, picks up a few of the Ravagers, dodges away, knocks them down. And Hero, another round. Picks up a few more Ravagers. They're quite a target. Machine driven back by the army for now. Rebuilding. Corruptors will try to engage the mothership, which will only serve to anger it. Shields are stripped away. Hive has begun. Hero, 127 army supply. He's adding more Archons and Immortals. He lost a few probes, which only served to fill in his army more strongly. I don't have high hopes for this ground-based composition for Machine, but he's making the right plays here. There's not much else to be done. He has 1-1 on the ground. Attack for both. A mass recall to his mothership just in time before the Corruptor count takes it down. Now the issue is there's so much invested in Corruptors. He's got a Congress of Corruptors over here taking up the whole budget. That's 24 army supply. And, well, the Phoenixes. But his ground army is nothing. Just completely gets pummeled by a fraction of Hero's ground. The base is just gone. He's actually supply blocked. +3 ground weapons is done. The Corruptors may actually take out a Nexus. And another hatchery is just going to be annihilated. Adding some Banelings in. The ground, it's just not. It ain't it. What are you gonna do, Banelings against Archons? The Stalkers blink forward. Corruptors just being picked away by... Yeah, Heroes just stiff-arming, holding him like a toddler, swinging at him. Come on, fight me with real units! And the Archons just smack him across the face. Turns his neck around, breaking it. All right, who's next? How many toddlers could an Archon beat? Probably at least one. Important questions we're asking here as Hero just obliterates yet another hatchery with almost no effort. But another Nexus being targeted. He did get one with the Corruptors. And he's not going to get two. And the Corruptors are dead. The mothership is coming back out. Another hatchery is found. As the Immortals and Archons will just kind of swing around. The death ball hanging low, just like GG Machine Supply. And there was just no contest to this. A recall to the third. At no point in this game did it look like Machine had any opportunity to do real damage to Hero. Sure, he's not dead. But Roach Ravager is not a end game composition. It's barely a mid game composition. Whipping out wave after wave of corrosive bile, but Hero casual 300 APM to Machine's near 500. But it's about working smarter and not harder. Hero literally double his age, so but that's a lot more experience. Well, Hero has not... He's just gonna help him out. Hero didn't go and kill him. He just waited for the inevitable. And that's gonna be yet another victory. The only failure, the long-range proxy against Clem today. And, I mean, it was kind of a spoiler, but all these games played in the same tournament. Clem, the only player to take a game off Hero. And... it counts for something, I guess. For one. Hero is... well... a smiling assassin taking absolutely no prisoners today. That wasn't even close. It wasn't even like the fun roller coaster with Hero. We sometimes have the back. No, he just murdered everyone. One of those days. We'll see if Clem shows up as Protoss next time. But thank you for watching. Hope it made your day at least a little bit better. And if you got the means of motivation, best check out Patreon, YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free, at least for now. Thank you to our meal tier patrons, Big Jake and Devin Door, Kate, Crazy Mouse, Mario Suit, and for everyone. Make sure to check out this video. Jimmy picked it out just for you. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.